Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another edition of Keeping Modern Janky. This week we're testing out an Outlaw Aristocrat deck. As you see, we have some of Modern's greatest hits creatures, kind of synergized together with Vial Smasher and Gleeful Grenadier, as he will ping our opponent with each outlaw that enters the battlefield. And outlaws include pirates and rogues. Looks like we're up against Affinity. That could be bad for us. Affinity is very popular in another land. Alright, so then we have the Aristocrat package. We need this double black for Dorothy, although I'm not sure we're going to cast it on. We may not, anyway, we may not have a lot of... So we may not have a lot of time when we're playing an Affinity deck. Affinity's been very popular. Alright, so we're looking to combo off, essentially. If you're not familiar with the Aristocrat archetype, it's very synergistic. The pieces all come together to do beautiful, wonderful things, mostly just killing your opponent by 1 point of damage. So that's where Vial Smasher comes in. For every great creature we're playing, it also deals a damage to them. As our Lava Spur Boots. As our top end finisher, we're playing Obnix's Captive Kingpin, who, whenever our opponent loses exactly 1 life, gets a +1/+1 counter, and then we get to exile the top card of our library. And we have till the end of our next turn, or till the end of our turn, to play it. Fatal Push. Alright, well, that's something. Let's see if our opponent has an answer here. Fatal Push. If it's Affinity. Okay, well, they do not have a Fatal Push, or an Ornithopter of all things. What a strange hand from our opponent. So let's run out the Vial Smasher. Maybe there's some sort of Demure artifact control. I played a Demure Affinity deck, when I was playing my dragons. And I'm pretty sure I played against Neon before. So hello, Neon. Alright, here comes the Affinity. The fun has begun. So we can crack this treasure to kill the Frogmite if they go to equip the Lava Spur Boots. So right now we're just tempoing them out a little bit. They have a very slow Affinity hand, if that's what that is. And this is a deck full of permanents that we could be taking with Tinybones, if we ever had a Tinybones. Hopefully they still don't have a Fatal Push. Another Ragavan. Well, maybe we should have saved that fetch land for a Fatal Push. Alright, well, that's a clock, folks. That is a 2-turn clock. So it would be a turn 4 win if we are able to... If our opponent just untaps and says, you know what, we don't have anything we can cast. Or untaps and decides they want to swing in and get greedy. And also, you can see my math is very suspect. It is not a 2-turn clock. It would have been had we attacked with a Dorothy Voidwalker, right? Maybe? No? Yeah, my math. Don't trust my math. Never trust my math. So 4-4. So the idea is we're punching in early damage, right? And then we hope to eventually, we have the exact same cards that are on the battlefield in our hand, so we actually don't care if they block. We just want to punch in damage and then drain them, have reach by draining them via the Vial Smasher or Zulaport Cutthroat when things die. Zulaport Cutthroat I was about to say would have been our best draw. Alright, they're blocking the Vial Smasher. You'd rather take a Ragavan hit. We're not getting very lucky with our Ragavans. With our Ragavan hits. Alright, so we're gonna play another Smasher. And then we will play another Voidwalker. I feel like our opponent, and they're dead on board with this Shadow, so if they don't have an answer, they're just dead. I feel like our opponent's deck, this is a very slow start for them. They should be able to flood the board pretty easily with lots of creatures, and they just didn't have a good hand. Alright, so they scoop it up. Dead on board with our janky beats came through. So now we get to bring in Brotherhood's End to fight the Affinity deck, and I gotta drink some coffee. Alright, so Brotherhood's End needs no explanation. I also am bringing in Molten Collapse just as a way to answer one of their big threats. Our Steel, like a Lava Spear or a Shadow Spear if they go get that. We could bring in the Alpine Moons to hit Urza Saga lands. It starts to water down what we're trying to do. And Obnixilus could be good. It has Trample, so that's one reason. But now Ragavan is often not at its best against a deck like this. They're going to flood the board with blockers. Being a synergistic deck that it is, it's really hard to know what to take out. You can take out a piece here or there. Hopefully not water down the combo too much type of thing. We need to take out 2 more. All of our removal feels good. Thoughtseize maybe just one of those. The Voidwalkers and Orcish Bowmasters seem really powerful in this matchup, so maybe another Obnixilus. It's tough. I feel very lucky that we got game 1, to be honest. Affinity has such fast, powerful starts. And that was not a fast, powerful start for them. Okay, well, we have the 2 Brotherhood's End and 2 Lightning Bolts. We just need to draw lands, and in our deck, can we trust to draw 2 more lands in time for this to work? Ooh, okay. I mean, the Lightning Bolts will buy us some interaction, or buy some time. I'm going to mulligan, because the Brotherhood's End only... Okay, that's better. It doesn't get all of their artifacts, right? It's 3 mana or less. So it's their big payoffs like Frogmite and whichever other one that is. The one that draws some cards and flies, don't get hit. Alright, well, we do have Orcish Bowmasters, which is really powerful against their strategy of wanting to draw a lot of cards, and we're hitting a land, so this may be an Orcish Bowmasters into Obnixilus. Alright, grow off the flesh, right? Ooh, that's exciting. Whenever you cast a spell during your turn other than your first spell that turn, create a 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token. Whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under control, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other zombie that enters the battlefield. And then Frogmite is their payoff. Shadow Spear. Haywire Mite and Shadow Spear we can deal with. Urza Saga obviously is a problem. Let's see if our opponent feels like chatting. Hey, this is a permanent though for our Tinybones, which I'm sure we're going to get a hit in. Okay, Lightning Bolt, that's going to be good. Bowmasters is good. We would love to hit another red source for this Brotherhood's End, because it is going to be a big blowout against what our opponent's up to. Alright, what are they going to do? Probably just make Cornstalks. So we can hold up the Bowmasters and then use it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be, yeah. I'm just trying to think. Alright, we're gonna run it out just to get the party started. We need to commit something to the board. Red source? It is a red source. So now, what do we want to do? I really want to. So they're gonna make constructs, right? And then they're gonna gain a lot of life with those constructs. We can also just Brotherhood's End. They'll get rid of 2 things. I think we're gonna hold off on the Brotherhood's End, and then we're gonna hold off on attacking because of the 1, 2, 3. Well, we'll send in the army. Since we have this lightning bolt, and if they do decide to block, which I doubt they will, they're just taking 1. But you know what 1 is? That's good enough for the Ob Nixilis. Can we survive enough the hits from the Urza Saga tokens? Maybe we should have held that back as a blocker. Okay, I'm about to say what happened. Now they're going to go get the Lava Spur Boots. And then they're going to... Okay. This is going to be good for us if they don't have any follow-up. The Frogmite is a follow-up. Alright, so then... Sorry, I'm chatting with my opponent. This is one way I can try to actually get people to my site. Okay, well, we're going to take 15. I think we're going to have to block. Well, the Bowmasters, man, it just is so nice with the Ob Nixilis. Do we want... They have 3 cards. Do we... I think I'll just take the hit and hope to survive. The Lava Spur, I mean, they're going to be... I just don't know what we want to do here with 3 damage. 3 life is so little. Alright, we probably should have held this back as a blocker. Oh well. Live and learn. Don't click through your end step, Johnny Cycles. Bolt the Frogmite. Brotherhood's End. Where do I get to pick a mode? Alright, destroy all artifacts. Hopefully they can't rebuild. I shouldn't have attacked. I should have held back the Orcish army for a blocker. We'll see how fast they can rebuild, though. Cranial plating is a fast one. We need something like a lightning bolt would be nice. Just to more lands. So many lands. We could just get in a one hit and hold back a blocker of some, just in case. Trigger this Ob Nixilis. Maybe we draw into a Tinybones. It's a land. I think we've already played our land, right? But we can play that normally, so maybe we should have held on to the land. All right, so we got our first Ob Nixilis trigger. All right. Yeah, this is why we made a mistake attacking, right? Our life total is so low that we kind of need all the blockers we can, and we could have. All right, that's good. That was a good draw for us. Now they're on a 3-turn clock, and we have 2 jump blockers. They can gain a little bit of life, I think, when this dies. Yeah, the Brotherhood's End is a really good, obviously, just one-sided board wipe. Those tend to be pretty good in Magic. But our opponent had a lot of cards in hand, and we needed to keep our life total higher. We should have held back the Orcish army token. There was no value to attack, really, but we'll see. I mean, that 1 damage might be relevant, right? It has them to 10 versus 11. That's a 2-turn clock versus 3. So we probably, I mean, we could what we can do is bolt this, already bolt their face and hope to draw another bolt, or bolt their face and they're dead on board and they can't attack anyway. Except they're going to gain, so they pay a life, they'll gain 2, they go up to 11. We can still, yeah, it's still going to be that's fine. It's just a 6-2. It's just a casual 6-2. We can double block. We can also single block. Send in the Bowmasters. Unless I'm reading this wrong. It does not have trample, so. End step. I think we're going to hold on to our lightning bolt for now. Voidwalker. That's good. That's a clock. So that is for them. Alright. We're not going to get greedy. We're just going to swing for 5. Next to this, man, showing why it's so important to have a powerful finisher in an Aristocrat shell. We need a flyer. It used to be Falcon Wrath Aristocrat, which helped give the deck its name. It's a 4/1 hasty flyer that you could use to sacrifice your board for value. We don't get that with Ob Nixilis, but what we do get is a threat that can grow with the right board out. Alright, we got one more turn here and they're dead. Got a little bit lucky on that Brotherhood's End after a mull to 6 and drawing the land on time. Got a little bit unlucky with choosing to attack and being greedy rather than holding back a blocker. Otherwise we'd be up at 10 or something. We have a lightning bolt interact with their biggest threat if it is something that gives it trample or haste. We have a shadow creature that can get through whatever blockers they put down, and a lightning bolt to finish them off. So I like where we're at. I think our opponent is a bit in trouble. That usually happens when you have a one-sided board wipe, but they've been able to rebuild quickly. Missing the land drops has been hard for them, I would say. Can they do 2 damage to us? They can attach at instant speed. I just don't think that they can. I mean, we'll block and hold up the bolt. We'll double block just to be careful. Can we not block this? What? Okay, what happened? We blocked there. Why can't I block with... Why am I reading this wrong? What can he not block? Oh, can he only block creatures with shadow? That's right. That's right. That's the double-edged sword of shadow, maybe? I'm not... I'd have to go look at that again. So we go to 2. They get a Memnite. And then I think they die. This does not have flying, correct? Alright. Shadow can only block creatures with shadow, can only be blocked by creatures with shadow, I suppose. Alright, Molten Collapse is good. We will... How greedy do we want to be? We're not dead yet. So I think we go... I think we let them gain their life. We could have taken it with Molten Collapse, but then they'd sack it. So... I think we just swing in with this and hope that it is good enough. They're still playing Magic, so they might have something up their sleeve. As we just saw, the Daughty Voidwalker doesn't actually do anything, so we probably should have just attacked with that too. We get Obnixilis gets grown to 6, so that actually doesn't gain them enough life to live. And it's a death trigger, so it gets exiled. It doesn't gain them any life at all, actually, but it would have gained them 2. Alright. Alright, well, that was pretty sweet. I mean, we definitely got... Game 1 was super lucky. This is the kind of start we saw today in Game 2 that you normally see from Affinity, and they did not have it in Game 1. So we stole Game 1. Literally, there's no way we didn't steal that one through luck. We had our janky beats. Game 2, the Brotherhood's in. The one-sided board... Yeah, the recording, it's free zone. Recording cuts off when the window closes. So yeah, it's just the one-sided board wipe in Game 2, obviously. Very powerful, very effective. Our opponent was able to build back a lethal board, though, especially after we didn't have a jump blocker for their big attack that we should have seen coming, and we did. But, yeah, I mean, taking down Affinity like that, I feel like if you've seen my videos, you know the moments where it just feels incredibly unlucky here and incredibly unlucky there, where our opponent always seems to have the answer and we're not drawing what we need. But this deck, and so far the last few nights or mornings that I've been playing with my new decks, the luck has been on my side, and you saw that today. But you also see some of the power and synergy of the deck. Obnixilis, great finisher, 4/3 that grows. We just saw how it was going to grow to 6 when our opponent sacked, paid the life to sack it, the Haywire Might. Even if we didn't have the Voidwalker to nerf the life gain, it would have only gained our opponent up to 6, and then it grew our Obnixilis to 6. So very powerful threat, does a lot for our deck. It drew us into another Voidwalker there, as you saw. There are a few things that I'm still figuring out with the testing. Tinybones and Voidwalker here, are they really? They're kind of a non-bow, but I think they're still worth it. Both are powerful in their own way. we saw Tinybones get a game for us against the As Foretold deck. Alright, well that's it for now. I gotta go get ready to get my son up for school, but I'll get some more matches in later, hopefully. But for CyclesGaming.com, this is Johnny Cycles. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Thanks for watching. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Janky with Johnny Cycles. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my website, CyclesGaming.com, for original Magic the Gathering content. You can read about my Commander decks or my Janky Modern brews. My latest article is about the Zombie Precon and its effect on Commander. I give you a couple different deck lists. If you're interested in a science fiction / fantasy novel, be sure to check out my book, The Podcon. I'm publishing it serially, a couple chapters every month. Again, thanks for watching. Check me out on YouTube, Johnny Cycles. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.